Welcome to FilMyWatchlist. My name is Richard Keeney. I'm going to be reacting to today's 2019 Oscar nominations, counting down what I thought were snubs and what I thought were the biggest surprises. Starting with the snubs, which I'm going to list in the order of most likely to what I wish could have been nominated. Let's start with First Man. Massively snubbed in the Oscars in my opinion. Jordan Hurwitz for Best Score. Nowhere to be seen, even though winning the Golden Globe, being nominated for the BAFTAs, pretty much winning all the precursors on the way to the Oscars. Tom Cross for editing. Again, looked to be a lock, no nomination. Honestly thought that was one of the best edited films of the year in terms of intensity and thrilling moments, but there you go, nowhere to be seen. Likewise, Linus Sandgren for cinematography. No nomination despite winning for La La Land. It just doesn't seem to be First Man's year this year. Any other year would have been the most likely contender for Best Picture, all the technical awards, and then to lose out in the categories that it's the most favourite for, Best Score, Best Cinematography, Best Editing, no nominations. It's a strange one. Likewise, Claire Foy, no nomination for Best Supporting Actress. She looked to be a favourite. Ryan Gosling, no lead actor. He didn't seem to have the momentum to get into that category over the last few months, but deserving nonetheless. Damien Chazelle, no Best Director. Not a big shock, but seeing as he won for La La Land, and that First Man's direction was probably one of the standout points, it's a bit of a shame as well. And last but not least, no Best Picture nomination. Now, this is something that will be brought up a few times in this video, but Oscars, as of a few years ago, they can nominate between 5 and 10 films. I don't see the point of nominating only 8 films when there was at least 10 deserving films, some of which in the final 8 could have been replaced in my opinion. So that's First Man. It did get 4 nominations in the end, but it really deserved much more. Big snub number 2, If Beale Street Could Talk. Barry Jenkins' follow-up to Moonlight featured very sparsely in Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Supporting Actress, which in fairness it is one of the favourites there, and Best Score. Shockingly, no Best Picture nomination, no Best Director nomination for Barry Jenkins, although that was never really a likely one. From what I've heard, If Beale Street Could Talk lives up to Moonlight's promise, Barry Jenkins, but yeah, it's a shame. It looks like it just kind of got forgotten in the end. Another big snub, Widows, absolutely nowhere to be seen. It's a real shame. I mean, like, had it fared better in the precursor awards, who knows where it would have ended up, but I mean, it definitely deserved at least the Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Picture nomination. Steve McQueen's direction is phenomenal. Never really had a look in there though, unfortunately. Me and a friend of mine were really holding out for Daniel Kaluuya Best Supporting Actor. Surprise there, but again, crowded categories. And Elizabeth Debicki could have got Best Supporting Actress. It's a shame because I think in a few years to come, people will look back and Widows will be noticeably absent from this nomination list. On the acting side of things, Toni Collette for Hereditary. I would have loved to see her get Best Actress nod, but again, very crowded category, and despite that, I think Toni Collette was one of the best performances of the year. The Oscars don't love genre films, and Hereditary was also a lot earlier in the year. That doesn't help its chances either, but I don't know, if Toni Collette could get nominated for Sixth Sense, I just don't see why Hereditary didn't have a look in. Similarly to Toni Collette, you have First Reformed, no nomination for Ethan Hawke there. He looked like he was the favourite earlier in the year. Maybe if the film had come out later towards the awards season, it would have fared better. Ethan Hawke's performance was honestly one of the best performances I've seen all year. He was absolutely incredible in First Reformed, and really an underrated actor in some respects, I think, Ethan Hawke. He's in a number of blockbusters, but the Before trilogy, Boyhood, all the stuff that he's done with Linklater, and you have Gattaca, and then First Reformed. I think he's a fantastic actor, and he really deserves the accolades. Timothée Chalamet, nowhere to be seen for Beautiful Boy and Best Supporting Actor. Very odd seeing as he was, again, one of the favourites. It looked like he was a lock to get nominated, but I don't think it'll hurt his chances in future years. He's obviously a huge talent. You Never Really Hear, absolutely fantastic film from last year. No Best Director nomination for Lynn Ramsey. Of course, it was never really on the cards. It wasn't nominated anywhere else in the precursor awards, but absolutely fantastic film. If the Academy did want to nominate a female director, I don't think you could do much better than Lynn Ramsey. Absolutely fantastic, intense, claustrophobic direction by her, and You Were Never Really Here. Similarly, Joaquin Phoenix's performance there, absolute powerhouse, showing his incredible abilities. The category itself, Best Actor, is quite crowded again, so never really had a look in. Best Sound Editing and Best Sound Mixing, You Were Never Really Here is really intensely soundscaped. It's overwhelming and kind of panic-inducing. It's fantastic and really deserved a nomination there. Won't You Be My Neighbour and Three Identical Strangers snubbed for Best Documentary. They look to be locks there, especially Won't You Be My Neighbour. I would have loved to see Shirkers in there, although it didn't seem likely to get the nomination at the end, despite being shortlisted. The more subtle snub, I would say, is Alfonso Cuarón's editing for Roma. Best editing category, some people can overlook it, but it is one of the precursors to winning Best Picture, and not being nominated there looks a bit dodgy for Roma's Best Picture chances. I would still think it's the favourite, but then again, the favourite is nominated for Best Editing, which seems to nudge it a little bit ahead in its chances there. Still all to play for Best Picture really, but I'd like to think Roma has it. Then you have Bo Burnham's 8th Grade. I haven't seen that yet. Well, can't wait to see it. It hasn't been released in Ireland yet. That looked likely to get Best Original Screenplay nomination. Nothing there. Another noticeable absentee, Burning, the South Korean thriller. No nomination for Best Foreign Language, despite being wildly popular with critics and audiences. And I was absolutely shocked to find out earlier that there's been no South Korean film nominated for Best Foreign Language in the whole history of the Oscars. It seems absolutely insane. South Korean films have such a huge following and such a rich history, but just not Burning's ear, unfortunately. Yeah, they're the biggest snubs, I reckon. But on the positive side of things, I really think the Oscars outdid itself this year in terms of its treatment of foreign language films. You have the likes of Never Look Away get nominated for Best Cinematography and Best Foreign Language Film. That's Florian von Donnersmarck, the director of Lives of Others. It seems to be his comeback after kind of disappearing when he made Johnny Depp and Angelina Jolie's The Tourist. You of course have Roma dominating with 10 nominations, which is great to see. I mean, it was always one of the favourites, but it's a Netflix film and it's completely foreign language film dominating like that is really encouraging. Similarly, Cold War being nominated for Best Director for Paul Pawlikowski and Best Cinematography for Lucas Dahl, alongside its Best Foreign Language nod. Really fantastic film, and it deserves that extra push and the extra recognition there. You also have Border, the Scandinavian troll drama that got nominated for Best Makeup. That's cool to see that nominated there. The Best Director field is really interesting. Yorgos Lanthimos, one of my favourite directors, got his nomination. It looked like he wasn't actually going to get in there. It would have been Peter Farrelly or Bradley Cooper, but The Favourite was fantastic and a really great culmination of the work that he's done so far with like Dogtooth, The Lobster, Killing of a Sacred Deer, now The Favourite. He just has this fantastic filmography, and it's really great to see him recognised. Now, despite Ethan Hawke not being nominated for Best Actor, you have Paul Schrader being nominated for Best Screenplay. His first nomination, despite writing Taxi Driver and Raging Bull, for which he didn't get anything. It's great to see him nominated, and at least that's some love thrown First Reformed's way. Really great film that I think is going to stick with people for years to come. As part of Roma's 10 nominations, you have Marina de Tavira for Best Supporting Actress. Absolutely shocking nomination there. It's great. She probably nudged Claire Foy out, but she was absolutely fantastic in Roma. And in addition to that, Yelitsa Apariccio's lead performance, her first acting performance, was nominated. Absolutely incredible, beautiful work by her, sensitive and powerful and really understated. She completely deserves to be in that category. It's really encouraging to see 2 foreign language performances there, along with the topic of acting surprises. You have Willem Dafoe for At Eternity's Gate, perhaps nudging out John David Washington or Ethan Hawke there. It's great to see him nominated 2 years in a row. I think he really should have won for Florida Project last year, but again, it was a tough year. Finally, Ballad of Buster Scruggs, the Netflix anthology by the Coen brothers, receiving 3 nominations: Best Costumes, I believe, Best Adapted Screenplay, and Best Song. It's great to see her there. It was a really, really good film. I thought it was going to be forgotten. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Sums up my what I believe were snubs and surprises of the Oscar nominations this year. I will release my predictions perhaps closer to the date of what I think will win versus what I hope will win, and also my reaction after the awards itself. Let me know, what do you think was a big surprise this year? What do you think was snubbed? Were you disappointed with the nominations overall, or do you think they were fairly good? Personally, I thought it was a bit of a mixed bag. You have the Best Picture nominees, you have a few underwhelming ones there, the likes of Vice, Bohemian Rhapsody, Black Klansman, Black Panther, and Green Book, though always going to be nominated. They seem to be outshined by a number of the films this year, like Widows and You Were Never Really Here, First Man, If Beale Street Could Talk. None of those getting nominated. It's strange. I would really love to see the Academy nominate the full 10, especially in a year when there's so many deserving potential nominees. Thanks very much for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can do so by becoming a patron on our Patreon page. Any contributions are highly appreciated and go a long way towards improving the frequency and quality of our uploads. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to FilMyWatchlist to see more movie lists and reviews.